In the Fajr prayer, we heard two surahs, one of them being Surah Al-Qiyamah and the other one being Surah Al-Mutaffifeen. And there are some themes and some points that I want to share with you from these two surahs, where they come together and some of the things that they tell us about Yawm Al-Qiyamah and about the preparation for it and about the means to be saved by Allah's permission. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tells us about two types of nafs, two types of a soul. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala swears by the soul. Allah swears by Yawm Al-Qiyamah, La uqsimu bi Yawm Al-Qiyamah. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala only swears by something which is azim. It's very, very great. In Surah Al-Mutaffifeen, Allah Azza wa Jal told us, لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. It is a very, very severe day. It is a day that is azim عند Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The day when the people will stand before Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala swears by a nafs. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. Allah swears by a nafs al-lawamah, the soul that blames itself. And my dear brothers, every single soul blames itself. Either it blames itself in a way that is praiseworthy to Allah, or it blames itself in a way that brings Allah's anger and punishment. As for the soul that blames itself and that Allah loves, the soul about which Allah Azza wa Jal said, Ya ayyatuha an-nafsul mutma'innah irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah. This is the soul that blames itself for doing wrong. And it blames itself for every lost opportunity to do good. So when we fall into a mistake, we feel sorry for it. And when we miss out on an opportunity to do good, we aim and we make a resolve and a determination not to fall into that again and not to let that opportunity go again. We examine our soul. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد. Everyone looks at what they put forward for tomorrow. This is the soul that Allah is pleased with because it blames itself. It blames itself for doing wrong, and it blames itself for missing out on an opportunity to get near to Allah Azza wa Jal, because my brothers, this life is very, very short. And the opportunities to get near to Allah are limited in number. And this life that we live in now is a life of action, and a life in which you might not see everything that you do, but Allah sees everything that you do. As for Yawm Al-Qiyamah, it is a time for recompense, either good or either bad. As for the soul that blames itself, that Allah Azza wa Jal threatened with punishment, it is the soul that Allah said about it, Inna an-nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su'. The soul is constantly inclined towards evil. The soul that any chance it gets to do something wrong, it does it. And if it misses the chance to do something wrong, it blames itself. How could you let this chance go? You had a chance to enjoy yourself. You had a chance to take something from this world. You had a chance to do something that you won't forget. So it blames itself for missing out on the chance to do haram. And it blames itself for wasting time on what is good. This soul is the soul that commands a person to do evil. And the stronger opinion with regard to the ayah in Surah Al-Qiyamah, wallahu a'lam, is that an-nafs al-lawwamah is both of them. But Allah only swears by what is azim, what is significant in His sight. So the emphasis is upon the soul that blames itself for doing wrong, and the soul that feels sorry when it does something wrong and blames itself for missing out on an opportunity to do good. What will be the situation of these two souls Yawm Al-Qiyamah? Allah Azza wa Jal told us how much we love this dunya. كلا بل تحبون العاجلة وتذرون الآخرة. How much you love al-ajila, you love the dunya which comes quickly, and you leave the day that is coming that is very, very great. What will be the reward of the soul who blamed itself for doing wrong, and the soul that blamed itself for missing out on a chance to do good? وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة. Faces on that day will be brightened. And nadara fil wajh is the brightness in the face. They'll be brightened إلى ربها ناظرة, looking upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is enough for us to remember that when a believer or a believing soul, a believing person looks upon Allah Azza wa Jal, they will forget all of the blessings of paradise. Because this is the greatest of what Allah Azza wa Jal prepared for the believers in paradise, to look upon their Lord. And the believers will see their Lord before they enter paradise, and they will see their Lord in a more complete and perfect blessing after they enter paradise. But what about the soul that blames itself if it doesn't do something wrong and it wants to do evil? Allah told us in Surah Al-Mutaffifeen, كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ كَلَّا إِنَّهُمْ عَنْ رَبِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَمَحْجُوبُونَ. Their hearts became covered because of what they used to do. Not sealed, not yet, but they became covered by the black dots on the heart every time they committed a sin. And they didn't come back to Allah, they didn't cleanse their heart, they didn't purify it, they didn't ask Allah's forgiveness, they didn't change and do something good in this limited, ajila, temporary, quick world that we live in. So Allah veiled them from Him Yawm Al-Qiyamah. They were not able to look upon Allah Azza wa Jal, and they were not able to take the blessing of looking at Allah Azza wa Jal in a way that brings them any benefit or anything good. Allah Azza wa Jal put a hijab between them and between them looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّهُمْ عَنْ رَبِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَمَحْجُوبُونَ. Those people were veiled from looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Yawm Al-Qiyamah because of what they used to do. Just from these small points I wanted to share with you, and there are many other things within the ayat and within the two surahs, parallels and things that Allah Azza wa Jal teaches us. The importance of preparing for Yawm Al-Qiyamah, the importance of not being fooled by this dunya, the importance of taking your soul to account and blaming yourself, saying to your soul, which type of soul do you want to be? Do you want us to look upon Allah Azza wa Jal Yawm Al-Qiyamah with a bright face? Do you want us to be from those people that are veiled from Allah, and then they are taken to ثُمَّ إِنَّهُمْ لَصَالُ الْجَحِيمِ, they're taken to be from the people of Jahannam wal-'iyadhu billah. What you have, my brothers, is this ajila, this temporary world, and what you have is the opportunity to look at your soul and to blame it and to criticize it and to struggle with it and to fight against it, to be from those people who have a bright face Yawm Al-Qiyamah, and those people who look upon Allah Azza wa Jal in Al-Firdaus Al-A'la, in the highest part of paradise. But my dear brothers, I want you to realize, and I'll conclude with this point, that paradise doesn't come because you wish it. ليس بأمانيكم ولا أماني أهل الكتاب. This paradise doesn't come because you want it or you hope for it. It comes because you work, and Allah Azza wa Jal gives you His mercy because of the effort that you put in, and the dua that you make, and the prayers that you do, and so on. So it's not a matter of sitting here saying, yeah, I want to be from the people of Jannah. But it's a matter of who is going to work for it and fight against this nafs and struggle with it and blame it and criticize it and correct it and work hard in this temporary life to be from the people who don't forget about Yawm Al-Qiyamah and what it brings from the great rewards for those people who believe and the great punishments for those who disbelieve. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to make us from those people who are from Al-Firdaus Al-A'la, Al-Firdaus Al-A'la min Al-Jannah, the people of Al-Firdaus Al-A'la in paradise. الَّذِينَ يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةِ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ وَلَا عَذَابٍ. Those people who enter paradise without any account and any punishment. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to save us from the fitan, the trials and tribulations. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive us. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His tawfiq. That is what Allah Azza wa Jal made easy for us to mention. Allah knows best. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.